Hello everyone, Paladins here. I'll be voting for different games for the Game Awards today, and I got my degree in game art a few years ago. I worked on a number of different games. Most of them are indie games, different studios, different types of games, top-down, first-person, mobile games, all sorts of stuff. While I'm not a senior in the game industry, I am in the game industry. So with a little bit of industry knowledge and industry POV today, I'm gonna be voting for some of the games for the Game Awards. Also, I want to add this. The Game Awards aren't like the Oscars. There's not, the voting system for the Game Awards aren't ideal. It's not entirely player's choice. The categories are kind of broken, and every year there's many games that just don't make it to the Game Awards. For example, Dispatch is one of my favorite games. I loved Dispatch. It was fantastic, and I definitely think it's worthy of an award. But I've heard that it's not even nominated. Again, I'm just voting now. I heard it's not even nominated because the game came out a bit too late, and like its final chapters came out outside of the time frame to be eligible to be a Game Awards nominee. And on the other hand, it's also out of the time frame to be a nominee for next year, so it's just entirely out, even though it definitely deserves an award. There's many other Game Awards that have different types of standards and backgrounds and different goals, different juries, different voters. But I guess the Game Awards is like the biggest one in terms of audience, I think. So, like I've definitely been shocked at some certain Game Awards results. I've seen players be shocked too. Like I did not think Astrobot was the game of the year. I do think Astrobot is phenomenal. I think Astrobot is such an amazing game. And I think the reason that it's a really good game is because they kind of took the Nintendo formula and put it on steroids. It's very good. So I'm looking at the winners from the previous years. I really don't think Best Game Direction and Game of the Year go to Astrobot. I don't think the players would vote that Astrobot has the best game direction. I think that's an industry thing. I think they got very technical into it and they were like, yeah. Because if you want to look at it from a technical POV, which is not what games are about, yeah, Astrobot had phenomenal game direction. So did many other games. But in my opinion, there should be separate awards. There should be one, which there is, by the way. There should be one for the game's art, the game's more technical aspects, and then one from the players. And I think that's what the Game Awards, that's what it should be about. I think the players should be voting for the games almost 100% or like 95%, which is not the case, by the way. I do not think the players would have voted for Astrobot as Game of the Year or Best Game Direction. I think Prince of Persia deserved way better, for sure. Balatro won because it was fantastic in terms of technicality, in terms of art, in terms of gameplay. It was very creative. Like, I don't think I could have just came up with Balatro. And the players loved Balatro. I myself was a Balatro addict. Like, I was going for, I don't know, high scores that the game could not display. Again, Astrobot winning so many times. And here's the thing. I myself have worked with, this is a little industry secret. I mean, you guys already know. There's a lot of nasty stuff going on in Hollywood and the music industry and the game industry, and trust me, I'm not saying, again, I don't even know this, I'm not 100% sure, it's just my guess, my assumption, but it's common for certain companies to pay to win the award so that it would be like advertisement for them. And I don't, when I see Astrobot popping up so much, it just makes me think, you figure out the rest. Yeah, why not? I wish I could see what the nominees were for Best Family, because maybe it actually won Best Family Game, but I don't think so. Some games you just never hear about until like something pops off, like a certain streamer plays it, or they win the Game Awards, and then everyone buys a copy. It's just promo. So let's actually get voting. Let's actually get into this. Game of the Year. Woo! Off with a very hard, troublesome start. Wow. Not gonna lie, I haven't played most of these games, but I've seen the gameplay for most of these games. Yeah, all of them. I've seen several hours of gameplay for some of these games. Because I couldn't afford them, I just didn't have the time to play it or anything. I was like, you know what, I'll watch my favorite streamer play it and see how it goes. I feel like something really good and really bad is happening for the Game of the Year. I think my favorite year for the Game Awards was 2020, because, you know, I just couldn't pick one of the games for the Game Awards, like the Game of the Year. I couldn't pick one. All of them were so good. I guess I was surprised that Animal Crossing was there, even though I had like 800 hours. I guess at the time I had like 500 hours of Animal Crossing in. And it was technically my Game of the Year. I spent the whole year playing Animal Crossing. But I definitely think Doom deserved it, and I was so sad that Doom didn't win anything that year. It just felt so unfair. Doom didn't win a single award that year. I hope they win one this year. I think The Last of Us definitely deserved it. A lot of people are going to be pissed, and a lot of people aren't going to agree with me, and I'm going to talk about that a lot. I'm going to get to that at some point. Final Fantasy was a great pick. Final Fantasy VII Remake. All the nominees were fantastic. But right now, I'm easily scratching some of the nominees on my screen. I'm like, okay, Kingdom Come Deliverance. Great game. Game of the Year, no. Death Stranding 2. Oh, I loved the soundtrack. I loved everything. You know, it's one of those games where I just look at it as someone who's worked on games, and I think to myself, wow, everything about it is fantastic. You know, when a game is good, you know, we in the game industry, like, we look at a lot of games and we understand how it's made. It's like an engineer looking at a building or a bridge. You get how it's made, you get how it's working. We understand how the visuals are happening, how a bunch of stuff are happening. But when you can't fathom how a certain thing was made and how it's running so well, that's when something epic is happening. And I saw a lot of stuff in Donkey Kong Bonanza and Death Stranding 2 that I just could not understand. Like, how did you make this happen? And of course, those are insider secrets. They're not just going to share what's their formula or their secret recipe to make all that happen. The game I played the most out of all of these was Hades 2. I stream it sometimes. You can come watch. I feel like my Game of the Year should be Hades 2, right? If I click it, can I go back? Oh yeah, okay. I feel like my Game of the Year should be Hades 2 since it's the one that I played most. But can we talk about Expedition 33? Holy shit. I just remember I was on LinkedIn, and all the people that I have in my circle, some of them were really happy. I was happy. I was ecstatic. A lot of people were pissed. All the white dudes sitting at the top were pissed about Expedition 33, and they were like, yeah, it's not gonna make it. It's a shitty game. The story sounds epic, but once you play it, I bet it's gonna be such a shitty game. And all the people who actually, the people who make games, actually, the game artists, the game devs, the technical artists, the directors, the writers, the 2D artists, the texture artists, the programmers, the software engineers, they were all happy to see what's happening with Expedition 33. It's been a few hard years at the game industry. It's been very, very rough. It's like, even before AI, I think there was like a solid 2 years where there was still no AI. And studios and companies were like, yeah, we just don't care about the devs, we don't care about the artists, we don't actually care about the many people who actually make things happen. And a lot of layoffs started happening, a lot of messed up stuff just started happening in the game industry. The game industry is one of those nasty industries where you can really sniff the capitalism all over the place. You can sniff the unfairness everywhere. At this point, a junior position is like you have 7 years you got 7 years under your belt. You can work with any software. You also know 12 languages. You're just a texture artist? No, you're not. You're an animator, you're a rigging artist, you do everything. There's nothing ever enough. No matter what you do, you are never ever enough. You could be the best game artist, the best animator, the best rigging artist ever, and the game industry will give you a big fuck you in the face. It just doesn't care. The only way people are actually getting jobs in this industry is through having connections, through introducing someone they know to, come work. I know people who work on Call of Duty, people who work on Marvel Rivals, people who work on different League of Legends games, the smaller games that recently came out, and League, Valorant, everything. I know people who work on that Marvel Snap game. I know people who work with Bethesda, a lot of people. none of them have gotten their job because they were really good and they were consistent and their portfolio was epic or anything. They all got their job through a connection, like all of them. I'm just thinking of like 30 random people that just come to mind right now, and they all told me that they got their job through a connection, which is insane. I know it was like really annoying. Like, I'm looking at something on Reddit that said 90% of Claire Obscure Expedition 33's team is composed of juniors who almost have no experience in the industry. Well, yeah, basically this is insane. I've worked on around 6 different games. They work, they function. I can do hyper-realism if I'm given the time. I can work on hyper-realism or semi-realism. And I can work on stylized. I can work on anything. I'm looking at the stuff on the screen. I can make characters for all of these games. I can make props for all of these games. Like, I guess Hollow Knight and Hades would be harder because I do 3D, I don't do 2D. But I've actually done like hand-drawn textures, stylized and stuff. Again, I don't want to share my portfolio or say what games I worked on because I want to remain anonymous. The game industry is absolutely brutal. They just don't care how good you are, how skilled you are. Everything that happens with connections. So me with my few years of game experience, a degree in gaming, I worked on different games. I'm able to like make good games. Tell me what character you want, what prop you want, what you want. I can make it happen. I understand my neighboring fields. So like, I'm a 3D artist. I know what my animator wants. I know what my rigging artist wants. I'm really good at topology. 3D art for me is easy. It is easy as hell. It might be time consuming, but it's easy for me. But yet, I'm not even considered a junior or a mid in the industry. I'm not even considered. I do get salutes and cheers and high fives and wow, your work is so great by people who worked at very, very great companies and work on fantastic games. People with like 30 years of experience, and they look at my work and they're like, wow, that's actually great. What games do you work on? Where do you work at? And I'm like, oh yeah, nowhere. The industry's kind of mean. With all that said, Expedition 33 is one of those games where a bunch of people like me just gathered around and they were like, hey, we can do software, we can do animations, we can do VFX, we can do particle systems, we can do everything. We know connections to people who can make good music. We can do all of this without the industry. I think a lot of these people who worked on Expedition 33 were laid off. I think a lot of them had trouble finding a job like me. But hey, look, they made Expedition 33. And who's surprised? Not me, not the other people in the game industry, because we're all the same. We all know that, yeah, there's thousands, if not maybe around 1 million people who are very skilled, very equipped, and very talented and can easily make fantastic games, but the game industry's just like, no, I don't want to pay you. Some dude has a connection. I have to go with that because, you know, connection, actually people talking to us, all that. And the AI systems that they put to like check your resume and your portfolio, it just sucks. Even the employers are pissed at that. Fuck AI. So I feel like Expedition 33 should be the game of the year, and I think it will win the game of the year. They made a fantastic game. It was addictive. It was fun. It was amazing. Expedition 33 just did it. It was a new title. It wasn't Assassin's Creed 22. It wasn't like Call of Duty 67. It wasn't another Nintendo game. It wasn't a sequel. It wasn't known. They just made a new IP. They made new characters. They made an amazing world. They made a fantastic game. The game is near flawless. I mean, most of these games are near flawless. But here we're voting to see which one is the most flawless. Again, my game of the year would be Hades. I am surprised that it made it to the game of the year because it just feels a lot like Hades 1, right? You don't see like something that was nominated before coming back and being nominated again. Yeah, Hades 2 is a lot more different than Hades 1, but it's not that much different. So even though my game of the year is Hades 2, I feel like I should vote for Expedition 33. Does that make sense? Best game direction. Okay, this is where it gets hard. I don't even know how Hades 2 is nominated here. I'm such a big Hades fan. I love Hades so much, but I don't understand how it's here for best game direction. That's odd to me. Like, I love the direction for Death Stranding too. Just from the moment it starts to the moment it ends, it's like a movie. Everything just blends in together so well. I love the direction on Death Stranding. Ghost of Yote is also a fantastic game. The direction was, it was kind of similar to the first game, Ghost of Tsushima. It just works. It just makes sense. It's really smooth. But again, it's nothing compared to Death Stranding. But I'm trying to, this whole time, I'm trying to ignore Split Fiction, because with Split Fiction, something crazy happens. It's hard for me to actually vote in this category. With Split Fiction, the whole time, it's kind of like a water slide. Like, you just sit there and you start sliding. You start sliding and it goes all the way till it ends. That's it. There's not much of a pause. With Split Fiction, you feel like you're constantly moving forward. There's a fluidity to it. Everything's flowing. Everything just keeps on going, keeps on going, keeps on going. And the fact that they were able to make this fluidity happen with 2 players at the same time, like in the same world and everything, it's kind of impressive. All of these games, except for Hades, in my opinion, have amazing game direction. When you play it, you feel like you're just in the game. With Hades, it's impressive that there's always so many options, so many things you could do. You could go to this door or the other, choose this thing or the other, and just keep pushing forward. But I just don't get that sense of game direction, of gameplay direction in it. I feel like, let's compare the two. Let's compare Hades and Split Fiction. Which one do you feel like is directing you more? Which one do you feel that is directing you better? In which one do you kind of space out? Because I feel like that's kind of the point of direction. It's directing you towards something, right? Towards something, a feeling, image, an ending, a new understanding, a thought, an experience. I feel with Hades, there's too many pauses for it to be, the game with the best direction. My vote, deep in my heart, is Expedition 33 and Death Stranding. I can't pick between the two. They're actually so good. To me, Death Stranding, or I think it's just something that Kojima is really, really going towards, is that he's trying to make something like, he's turning gameplay experiences more into a movie-like experience. And I'm all for that. I love that a lot. But then that kind of directing changes everything. It's not a movie, it's a game. It just changes everything entirely. So I guess the game direction of Death Stranding is so fantastic, so amazing. It's more like the best direction. Delete the game part. The game part, that's not happening. If we're talking about game direction, that means gameplay, that means your tutorials, that means your controls, that means how you're playing the game, that means your experience playing the game, how you win, how you lose. But with Expedition 33, I feel like the direction is more gameplay. But again, I feel like I need to vote for Split Fiction. I kind of wish I wasn't such a nerd in the game industry and I was just another player. But I just keep thinking about all the technical aspects and all the behind the scenes stuff for making a game. So yeah, I feel like I have to go with Split Fiction for this. The game was about game direction. I think there's actually a game art direction too. That's starting to make me think now. If there's gonna be a best game art direction, that complicates things. You know what? I think the best game direction should go to Split Fiction. That's gonna be my vote. Again, this is so hard to vote. They're all like really close. In my book, they're all very close to one another. I think they all should kind of deserve best game direction, except for Hades. Best narrative. Ooh, wow. Okay, I gotta go with Silent Hill. I have to go with Silent Hill. Silent Hill was such a good game. I'm surprised it's not in Game of the Year. Like, it's not nominated for Game of the Year. I'm actually surprised. This is easily Silent Hill up for me. Best. There was such a good quality and good feel to how the story was unraveling, how the gameplay was unraveling, the save systems, the enemies, the lore, the characters, who's your friend, who's your enemy. Everything in Silent Hill F was fantastic. Again, the storytelling was phenomenal. I have to give it to Silent Hill F. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. Best art direction, and most of the games are in the same category. Wow. Oh wow. So the thing with Death Stranding 2 is that they really went for a movie vibe. So like the soundtrack is great. The HUD and UI is very movie. Like the whole environment, like the lighting, the shadow, everything in Death Stranding 2 was like made to be a movie. It was made for that. Art direction for Hades 2. I mean, come on. Who doesn't love the art for Hades 2? I wish I had a Hades 2 art book. I just wish I could look at the game the whole time. The thing that carries Hades, as a matter of fact, is the art. If it didn't have the art that it does, it would not be here. The art is fantastic, and of course the art direction is fantastic. It works very well. I love what was happening with Silksong. You know, the art in Silksong is very simple, and they do a lot with that simplicity. The characters are great. I mean, look at Hornet. That's such an epic design. It's so simple yet so fantastic. But can I compare Silksong to the other games? You know, that's where it gets hard. Ooh. This is really hard for me. I feel like I subconsciously want to vote for Expedition 33 because I relate to the team behind it. I know how they felt, and I am so proud of what they've achieved with this game. So I just want to naturally vote Expedition 33. But also, that doesn't mean that their art wasn't good. Their art direction was fantastic. It was very good. The characters were epic. Everything about them was phenomenal. The environment, the lighting, the VFX, everything. You know what? It's okay. You can hate me. You can hate me. It is fine. But I am going to vote for Expedition 33. I am sorry. Again, this is really hard to vote because all the games are like, oh my god, it's the same games again. Oh my god. What the hell? Oh my god. Okay, I think people have a right to be very pissed this year. Because, like, if someone's favorite game is Silksong, they're just gonna vote for Silksong for all the categories. And there's not... What am I looking at? There's not a big variety of games. And I am fairly certain there were a lot of good games this year that just didn't make it to the Game Awards. The music that they made for Ghost of Yotei is fantastic. The folkish music, the traditional style music, the instruments that they use, the recording, everything is great. Same with Hades. Like, it's actually really fun. It's good music. And Silksong. That deserves a Grammy. That deserves a Grammy for sure. But then we get to Death Stranding 2. So I guess right now with Woodkid and Ludwig Forsell, we are voting for like the base OST. We're not voting for all the like famous popular songs that were being chosen, right? Because it has their name here, Woodkid and Ludwig, right? Outstanding music inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack. Then why did you put why is only the like musicians, like, are these people the ones who made the original OST? Or did they decide on, like, hey, let's have this one song from, let's have this song play in this scene of this game? I don't know what I'm voting here right now. Because, I guess, if I had to listen to the music of the games on a loop, of course I would go with Death Stranding. Because, like, a couple of my favorites outside of the game, songs that I've been listening to since I was a kid, are in the game, right? I would just listen to that. And it would be a lot more nicer. But if we're voting actually the effort that they put in to make music for the game, I think that's where it gets really hard. I think Ghost of Yotei definitely deserves an award for that. So does Expedition 33. Again, I do not want to vote for... man, you have every right to hate me. You have every right to hate me. Listen, I'm telling you, my favorite game of the year was Hades. But I didn't vote Hades because I just think Expedition 33 deserved it. And I think it's the same here, like Ghost of Yotei. Fantastic soundtrack. Okay, it's hard. It is hard doing this shit. You know, it's just one vote. It's just my one vote. It's not gonna affect the results at all, right? You know what? Ghost of Yotei. I appreciate some acoustic, but Death Stranding. Okay, this is really hard. I would listen to this Stranding. I don't understand how the voting works. Again, I don't know if it's which type of sound am I voting for here. I said I would listen to Death Stranding's OST the most. Mostly because it has songs that I'm familiar with. Songs that outside of everything I've known for decades. So, I guess the only correct thing to do would be to vote for Death Stranding, right? Especially since I don't understand the category. Best audio design. Ooh, Silent Hill F. That was an easy one. That was a very that was really easy. I have heard such bone-chilling sounds in this game. I have been so traumatized, and I've also heard such wonderful sounds in this game. It's easily Silent Hill. There's no doubt. I don't need to say anything. I'm surprised Silent Hill isn't in the other categories. They did so good with everything in the game. Fantastic. My game of the year is Silent Hill. Take that. Again, do I need to explain? Konatsu Kato did great. I mean, they all did great. I just can't. It's hard to vote for this one, but I have to go with Konatsu Kato. I just got all the emotions that I was meant to get from the game, from the character, from Konatsu. She did great. She really did. Yeah, her acting and her, I got everything that I was supposed to get. Nothing was off, nothing was strange. It was nearly flawless. Give her an Oscar. She takes my vote easily. Innovation and accessibility. Ooh, I need to actually look into some of these, I guess. I know Doom always does a great job. I'm a big fan of Doom. I love Doom. I've played every single Doom game. I love it. I love Doom so much. And I think it's one of the most wholesome games ever. Regardless of the aesthetics and the lore and everything, the team behind it are actually some of the most wholesome people. They actually love the game so much and are so dedicated to it. Unlike a lot of other studios where they just, the members don't bond together. They don't know each other. They don't care for the game. They're just making something good, getting money, and going to the next project. Which at least I'm happy that they have a job and are getting money. Unlike many other terrible things that are happening in this industry. I love Doom so much, but this isn't about Doom and it's not about me. It's about accessibility. South of Midnight, they did pretty good. I'm gonna go with South of... am I though? Can I come back to this? You know what? I'm gonna come back to this. I'm gonna go to the next one and I'll come back to accessibility. Games for impact. Oh wow, all of these games are so fantastic. Impact. Which one was the most impactful? Yes, Lost Records and maybe South of Midnight were the ones that just really touched me. I mean, they all touched me and made me so emotional. I felt all sorts of emotions with all of these games, but the one that did it most is one of these two. Without thinking too much about it, I'm just gonna go with how I felt, and I'm gonna go with Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. Best ongoing, wow. Marvel Rivals is on, I guess. So again, all these games are so freaking good. They're so well made. Marvel Rivals did something that I didn't think was possible. I know people who work at NetEase Games. I used to play their earlier games like Cyber Hunter and stuff. I wish they wouldn't like cancel out some of their games. They used to have a bunch of online games. I bought skins for them. A lot of people did. My friends did. We all played the games, and then they just shut down the game, which was really sad. NetEase won the lottery when they had a chance to make a Marvel game, and they made the best Marvel game. Like the art, again, some games are like eye candy. You can't stop looking at them. Marvel Rivals is one of them. Not just the animations, not just the characters, not just the textures, not just the lighting, not just everything about it is perfect. And I talk to the people who work at NetEase, and they work on characters, textures, environments for NetEase, and they're just so passionate. They're so passionate about what they do. It seems like the game doesn't have a toxic environment. It doesn't have a lot of weird shit going on in the background. It seems great. Fortnite is... I went from hating Fortnite because of it's kind of like the Mr. Beast game, right? It's like, ooh, spend money, skins, everything is about money and all of that. But I just really got into Fortnite when I realized, oh my god, this game is so fun to play. It is so fun. I want to admire all the titles and, you know, express that I know how good they are, how much effort is behind them, how much work goes into them, how much art, how hard the devs try to like just make everything go well, go smooth. Then there's No Man's Sky. Holy shit. These people have updated their game so many times. They put so many good features, so many new experiences in this game. You feel like you're spending, I don't know, 40-50 bucks on the game. I think it's actually cheaper than that. But actually, what you're getting from No Man's Sky is worth like 300 bucks. You don't get that with Fortnite, because you know, I have the few skins that I like, and I don't feel like I need to buy anything anymore. I see fun stuff, but I'm not looking for it that much. I don't like the Lego stuff, I don't like the racing stuff, I don't like anything that's outside of like the traditional battle royales. I know you can do a bunch of stuff with it, and I guess Roblox inspired Fortnite to do that, but you know, all of these games, I don't think either one of them has put as much love and effort and time and energy into making sure that their game is good as the team behind No Man's Sky did. The people who work on No Man's Sky are so passionate. They actually take player feedback and they actually are like, hey, 12 of you guys said you want this thing to be blue, so we made it blue. And they don't actually like do a shitty job at making it blue. They picked the most perfect blue for that. This game is as old as time, and when it came out, it was a flop. People were pissed, people didn't like it, it was getting bad reviews. But now it's one of the most successful games out there. The community loves it. It has a massive community. The community is so happy and satisfied, and it's created such a wholesome community because people are communicative, they're helpful, they care, they actually love playing the game and, you know, making great memories and having fun with others. So to me, this is the best ongoing game. Easily goes to No Man's Sky for all the efforts that they put in, and specifically this year, they put a bunch of good updates, they had great sales. Yes, all the other teams put in effort too, but it doesn't even come close to the effort that No Man's Sky puts in, and the great outcome that they get. Yeah, you keep getting new skins in Fortnite, and new songs, and new gameplay modes that you're only gonna try once and ignore for the rest of your life. Same with Marvel Rivals. It's the same mechanic, it keeps getting little trinkets and goodies. But No Man's Sky is actually like, each update is just a whole new experience, so I just have to go with No Man's Sky. Easy. Best community support. I mean, I didn't know this was a category. I think I forgot that this was a category. Again, No Man's Sky wins this easy. The Baldur's Gate community is very wholesome too. Baldur's Gate 3 specifically. You know, I think again, No Man's Sky, this is hard. This is between Baldur's Gate and No Man's Sky. I'm just gonna give it to No Man's Sky. I think both are very worthy opponents. Best independent game. I'll be honest, I have never played Blueprint, nor have I heard of it before. If we're talking about being independent, then we're talking about Hollow Knight. I'm just eyeing all the other candidates, and I'm like, yeah, but also this guy and that guy and that guy. Supergiant Games has gained a lot from Hades 1 being also a nominee in 2020 and being a recipient of many awards. Hades was a nominee for Game of the Year. Oh my god, Supergiant Games is actually doing so good now that I'm thinking about it. Here's the thing. Expedition 33 was a game made by a bunch of people who were denied jobs, kicked out of their jobs, kicked out of their studios, ignored, backstabbed, left to rot, and they came together like a family and they made one of the best games in the history of video games. Expedition 33 gives me hope. It genuinely gives me hope for the world, not just the game industry, for people. It just brings a warmth to my heart. Hollow Knight is, specifically Hollow Knight Silksong, is a game made by a small team of very, very talented individuals who made a game, it hit, they made a bunch of money, and they said, hey, you know what? We have enough money, we don't need to make a game. We have enough money, we don't need to do anything. We're just actually passionate about making the game. And they were so passionate that they took their time, and it took like 10 years for them to make Silksong. 10 years. And they said it themselves. They were like, we didn't need money, we didn't feel a rush, no one was there being like, hey, we need this game out by Tuesday, we need like crazy marketing and stuff. They just went for it. They just freaking took their time and they made a game out of love and passion. I want you guys to understand that. If you did not know that, Silksong is not a game made because they wanted to make money. It was just 20 bucks. I think it's just 20 bucks. Yeah. They took their time making this game because they didn't feel like anyone... They took their time because they're not a part of a big studio company or something that's constantly bugging them, telling them that, hey, your deadline's getting closer and closer. They said that they kept taking their time because they played the game themselves, they tried adding new stuff themselves. It was like such a big passion project between the team members. But then again, we're talking about independent. The people who worked on Expedition 33, these people lost their jobs. These people also came together and they made this project out of passion, not knowing where it's going to take them. These are broken people. While Team Cherry working on Silksong, they actually did hit the lotto. They hit the lotto with Hollow Knight and they didn't need to do anything anymore. They were like, hey, we don't even need to make a game. We're just making it because we want to. These are two different kinds of independent. I don't know much about Absalom and Ball Pit, and definitely nothing about Blueprints. I don't know much about their teams. Well, I know Ball Pit and Absalom are very good games. I feel, again, I don't want to keep saying the same story, the same shit over and over again, but I feel like Expedition 33 wins it for me, because these guys, they were actually desperate, and I know how that desperate feeling is. I've sent over, like, I stopped counting when I realized I've sent 700 applications to apply for a job, and they all came out as no. And I thought I'm broken, I thought I'm terrible, I thought my portfolio sucks, I thought I'm not skilled, until I looked at everyone else and they were the same. People better and worse than me were like in their thousands of applications that they've sent. Over and over and over again. And usually don't even get a response, and when you do, it's just like, oh, unfortunately, we decided to move on, whatever. And later on I learned some companies, some terrible companies that actually are ruining our planet today, have a bunch of openings for game jobs for you to apply, and then they're like, oh, the position closed, we already got someone, or we don't need it. And the only reason that they're doing that is to get like a tax cut. I'm gonna put the details on the screen so I'm not like spreading misinformation, but they're actually putting a bunch of job openings so they would get some kind of tax cut, and they're not actually hiring people. They just have a bunch of open positions that just don't exist. So that's really messed up. And these people at Expedition 33 have tasted this, have felt this, have been traumatized by this. Not having a job or being kicked out of your job, losing your job, is traumatizing. It affects your whole life, your relationships, your health, your housing, everything. I have to go with Expedition 33. I just have to. Best debut indie game. Oh my god, Dispatch! I'm so happy that this game is here. What the hell? I thought it wouldn't be. I heard all the stuff about the window of like, it wasn't in the time frame, it is in the time frame. Again, I'm surprised that it's only in this category because the music was pretty good, the character design, the art direction! Why is it not in the art direction category? Dispatch's art direction was phenomenal. If it was in the art direction, in the gameplay direction part, not the art direction, my bad. If it wasn't the gameplay direction, I would have just voted for Dispatch. Easy. So easy. I would just go with Dispatch. The direction on this game is just phenomenal. Like, phenomenal. I'm gonna go with Dispatch. Easy. Again, I didn't go with Expedition 33 for that because I think it gets enough love from all the other categories. Best mobile game. Ooh, I actually don't know about a lot of these games. Oh my god, Wuthering Waves. I need to talk about this in a different video. But I did try Sonic Rumble, but not enough to actually know how it is. Like, I just played a little bit of it. I don't think anything comes close to Persona, because it's Persona. I mean, come on. I have to go with Persona for this one. Both because I'm not super familiar with these two games at this one, the Destiny one, I'm gonna go with Persona. So I didn't know shit about these games, and I just looked up some gameplay for all of these, and I watched it, and they're all pretty impressive. I don't like VR AR games. Not my thing, but I think this one, the Midnight Walk, I think this one was actually pretty cool. I'm gonna go with this one. Again, I don't know these games really well, just based off of some gameplay. I'm making a decision. Best action game, damn. Holy shit. For me, it's easily Doom. I feel like, oh my god, this is so heartbreaking. I feel like this year Doom will also not win an award, similar to 2020 when it was nominated for multiple categories and didn't win a single award. Because there's competitors like Battlefield, and even though I don't think Battlefield's like that good of an action game, there's Battlefield fans. There's people who like, it has a cult following, so people are gonna like, you know, it doesn't have a cult following now that I'm thinking about it. Doom has a cult following. Hades has a cult following. But Battlefield, it just has a bunch of players, a bunch of incels. I'm sorry, I'm dissing all Battlefield players so hard. All Battlefield players are not incels. But there's a bunch of people who just love Battlefield and they're gonna be like, oh, what's this game? Hades, Ninja Gaiden, pussy, I'm not gonna play these stupid, colorful games. I play dark games where I play Terrorism Simulator. Oh, yeah, you know. I'm actually censoring what I just said about Battlefield players. I'm gonna go with Doom. It's easy. It's so easy for me to just vote for Doom. It is such a phenomenal experience playing Doom. Especially that new game. You know, I like how every Doom game, or not every Doom game, but since 2016, like the past 3 Doom games have had some unique mechanic to them that just changed the game. So yeah, best action adventure. Ooh. When we're talking about adventure, Indiana Jones and Hollow Knight, they stand a separate, you know, they scream adventure. This is so hard, because like I did try the Indiana Jones game on a friend had a copy and I tried it at their place a lot, and I watched the gameplay a good amount. It does scream adventure. This year is really hard. There's too many good stuff going on this year, and not in a good way. Split Fiction could be best action adventure, but it felt more like a parkour game with like certain actions you have to do. It didn't feel like action, fighting, and adventure is like the main thing in the game. Like, I feel like adventure needs to have a little tint or taste of you being able to discover some stuff on your own. But Split Fiction doesn't give you that. Split Fiction is the water slide that I just told you. It takes you straight down a certain path. You can explore with Split Fiction. So Split Fiction is already out. Death Stranding, I feel like it's really good in the adventure field and the action field, but not as much for me to say it's 50% action and 50% adventure. It doesn't get the action field that much for me. So that's out too. Ghost of Yotei isn't adventure enough for me either, so it's between these two, Hollow Knight and Indiana Jones. Ooh. I mean, I'm just looking at myself and being like, how could you vote for Indiana Jones and not Silk Song, you know? Like, I want to vote. I feel like in my heart of hearts, in my small little heart, my winner is either Indiana Jones or Death Stranding. But in my brain, in my technical brain, which one would I vote for? Hollow Knight, yeah. I don't feel very confident in that vote. As if like someone has a gun to my head. I have a gun to my head, that's what's happening. For the best game design with rich player character customization, ooh, RPG, ooh, I don't know, oh my god. Okay, it's not Monster Hunter, fuck that. Monster Hunter just doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't, it doesn't do it for me as a player, and it doesn't do it for me as like a game artist, someone in the industry. It just doesn't. It never did. And so, but it's a massive game with a massive following. So like, you know, who am I to say shit about Monster Hunter? It's just that personally for me, it's out. It's not it. I can't pick this one. I'm gonna come back to it. I'm gonna go next and I'm gonna come back to this one. Best fighting. Ooh. Okay, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, not a big fan of it. No, because it's basically just like, hey, here you go, everything we've ever made, have it. Have fun. Virtua Fighter was great. Fatal Fury was great. Capcom Fighting Collection, basically the same as the Mortal Kombat one. 2XKO was actually good. Like, the player mechanics, the controls, everything about it was phenomenal. I did not think it would be this good. And I feel bad that I suck at the game. Like, I have never won the game ever. I can't even make it past the tutorial. It's so hard. But it feels right. It feels like I didn't get this feeling when playing the last 2 Mortal Kombat games. I got it from Tekken and Street Fighter, kinda. But 2XKO actually feels correct. It feels like how a fighting game, how a head-to-head combat game is supposed to be. And I loved how they're doing the Riot thing where each character just has its own very special whole ordeal. I'm gonna go with 2XKO. Ooh, this one's a really fun and hard one. Best family. Sonic Racing is out, Split Fiction is out. It's gonna be Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party, or Lego Voyagers, or Mario Kart World. Ooh. I think Donkey Kong... Okay, so when we talk about family, I like to think that there's more than 2 players, because if there's just 2 players, then yeah, Split Fiction does a pretty good job. I think Lego Voyagers is just a 2-player thing too, so that's out too. Same with Donkey Kong Bonanza. I don't think you can play the game with like 4 players, can you? While being a fantastic game, a very good game, Donkey Kong Bonanza. I love the game so much. I actually, it has a special place in my heart. I just don't think it crosses family as well as Lego Party does and Mario Kart. Lego Party is great. It's funny. The narrative, what do you call it? The narrators say such random bullshit. It's hilarious. It's actually super funny. And it's something that kids can play and adults can play. So like an adult family can enjoy this a lot. But does it get close to Mario Kart? Does it actually get close to Mario Kart? No. Mario Kart is amazing. It does such a great job. I did not expect this game to be as good as it is. I'm going for Mario Kart all the way. Great game to play with kids and family. Fantastic. Best sim strategy. So many S's. I mean, ooh, this is hard. Final Fantasy Tactics is one of those that doesn't do it for me also, similar to Monster Hunter. It just doesn't click. Same with Sid Meier's Civilization. I have Sid Meier's Civilization. I have multiple versions of the game, and it just doesn't work. Like, I kept buying it, and I was like, this time it's gonna work. I'm gonna go on the Discord server and befriend people, and they're gonna teach me, and like, it's gonna work, and it just didn't. It just didn't. So I think this year players are gonna vote for Civilization. I think it's gonna win easily, especially that it has a big community and a lot of fans. I think 2 Point Museum was like really fun and easy and just great for me. I think overall everyone would enjoy 2 Point Museum, so it's gotta win, right? I feel like Jurassic World Evolution 3 was also great. It's one of my favorite games. It's so addictive. Like, I don't know how the Jurassic World, like the evolution games, the park games, all of that, you just start playing it and you don't realize how it's been 11 hours. They are stuck on this thing. It's a hard category for me to vote. They're all very good games. A lot of efforts gone into all of them. This is another one that I have to skip for now and come back to it later. I really can't vote. Damn. Best sport racing. Oh my god. So, Mario Kart in this category wins so easily. So easily. With the latest Mario Kart game, you're actually playing a sandbox game. You can explore so many things. You can go to so many different places. The fact that you can play with so many players is just... It is a different kind of fun. The races and the championships and things I've seen have been so fun. And it just feels massive. The thing with Nintendo is, and I kind of see this happening with Riot Games too, is that their games evolve, you know? It's like, it's always Zelda, it's always Mario, it's always Donkey Kong, it's always Samus, it's always Splatoon, but there's little mechanics that change the game entirely. Like, let's talk about Super Mario Wonder. The game was literally a LSD trip. All the shit that's happening, like the map changes, the lore changes, suddenly the direction of the game changes. Everything just, you're constantly caught off guard. They constantly do stuff that you're not expecting. There's entire levels that are just happening in the dark. The abilities that you get are just completely different than the stuff they were getting previously. The art was also fantastic. It was great. It was wonderful. Same with Zelda game. There's always a certain mechanic that changes the game as a whole. Some new weapon, some new puzzle, some kind of new thing with characters. And each game is like its own. Each time they do something different that makes you want to buy the game. You're like, oh yeah, it's my favorite characters, it's my favorite world, my favorite tunes are playing. But oh my god, there's this new thing, a new challenge, a new ability, something new to figure out. I can do this thing now. You don't get that with games. to milk your pockets, to milk your views, to get money. Like, you actually think all this shit's legit? This sucks ass. So, I've been talking about this for way too long, but it sucks ass. Nintendo is amazing. Nintendo is not repetitive. Stuff are repetitive. I don't care. Best multiplayer. Peak. Easy. Okay, why Peak? The art was completely unique. Very unique. Yeah, like, not entirely unique, but fairly unique. Look at the other competitors here. They brought in a mechanic that was very new. Like, you have to climb and you have to help your friends climb, and then there's a whole management system with, like, should I take the heavy thing? Should I heal this friend or the other? Should I carry this friend on my shoulder or not? So on and so forth. The way the teamwork plays into Peak is very new and it's very innovative. I know a lot of you hate the word. I mean, yeah, you should. Been misused a lot. Peak is really the definition of making a multiplayer game that's just completely new, completely unique, and very, very fun to play. You keep wanting to play it over and over again. Like, this is a really small thing, but the fact that the characters' mouths move when you talk and they look like they're talking to you just gives this feeling to the player that, hey, my teammate is actually talking to me and looking at me and, like, stretching your arm out to me. Like, you get that sense of we're a team, we're together, we're playing together. All these games are fantastic. Elden Ring is phenomenal. Elden Ring is great. It's my second vote here. It's my second vote. Split Fiction, again, great. We've seen games similar to Split Fiction happen, but like the story here, the gameplay here, a lot of stuff happening in Split Fiction were kind of new, but I wouldn't say it's the most innovative. Again, my second is Elden Ring. Arc Raiders, great game. I think, unfortunately, it's gonna win any category that it's in because of how, weird some of the fans can be, unfortunately. So, Peak is my vote. Best Adaptation, a Minecraft movie, Devil May Cry, Splinter Cell, The Last of Us, and Until Dawn. Wow, this is amazing because we don't have a single candidate here that doesn't suck ass. Wow, we, like, not even one. They all are so bad. They all are so terrible. Until Dawn, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to look at this. Like, cover my screen. Devil May Cry, pretty good. Okay, yeah, good enough? No. A Minecraft movie? It has nothing to do with Minecraft, now that I'm thinking about it. Like, what was the lava chicken thing? Or chicken jockey? Like, we don't talk about these when playing Minecraft. It doesn't give you that Minecraft feel. Again, it's all just marketing. You know, Jack Black's there, CG, Jason Momoa. They also did some nasty stuff behind the scenes. I mean, behind the scenes, they did some wonderful stuff for, like, some fans. And that wasn't, like, the Minecraft movie, like Mojang or Warner Brothers doing something very nice for the kids. It was the actors that actually did some nice stuff for certain Minecraft fans. But then, Legendary Pictures, Mojang, and Warner Brothers actually did some kind of nasty stuff to certain people. So yeah. And the movie, again, like, we got the whole memes and everything from it, right? But again, Minecraft movie, it wasn't Minecraft for me. Yeah, everything's cubey and, yeah, that's the Minecraft bee and the Minecraft sheep and the Minecraft chicken. But, like, even the villagers and zombies, they kind of gave me PTSD. Like, what the hell am I looking at? That looks bad. Who are these characters? Who are they? I didn't think Steve would have, like, a dad bod and a belly and be Jack Black. I thought Steve was, like, actually pretty healthy looking. I was hoping that the Minecraft movie would be, like, a dark fantasy movie. It would be a very good dark fantasy movie. I've seen a lot of people talk about it and stuff, but the fans sometimes, or most of the times, don't get what they want. Similar to what's happening with the Zelda movie right now, which I think is gonna be a flop. Like Mario, the game for Mario, no, not the game. The Mario movie was pretty good, and I think the next one that's coming out, the Mario Galaxy one, is gonna be pretty great. I don't have any hopes for Zelda. As a big Zelda fan, that doesn't look like Link. That doesn't look like Link. That looks like a guy who loves Midwest emo. It doesn't look like Link. And this clearly is not Hunter Schaffer. I still don't know if it's Schaefer or Schaffer. It's not her. And if it's not her, then I know, I'm being a bitch. I'm being really annoying about it. I hope the movie goes really well. And I might watch it, actually, because I'm a big Zelda fan and I want to see what happens. But all these movies suck ass. The Last of Us, my thing with The Last of Us is that I need to make a whole video talking about Last of Us. I can't just, This is just a sad category for me. This all sucks ass. This is all messed up. Most anticipated game. Okay, again, do I need to vote for this? It's gonna be Grand Theft Auto. I anticipate Grand Theft Auto. You want to watch a Grand Theft Auto. Regardless of who you are, how you are, what you're doing, you want to see Grand Theft Auto. I also really want to see the new Resident Evil game. I like her a lot. I forgot her name. That's embarrassing of me. 007... Marvel's Wolverine might actually be pretty fun. This is exciting too, but I want to see the next Resident Evil game because I'm excited to see how things are gonna unravel. And The Witcher, that's also gonna be epic. So I know, yeah, I want to see Grand Theft Auto. Everyone does. More than half the population of Earth. Rich, poor, dead, alive, whatever. We want to see GTA, which is why I'm going to vote for my second best, Resident Evil, because I think GTA is going to win. I know it's going to win, so I'm just going to go with Resident Evil. Content Creator of the Year, Casual Kaisen and Moist Critical, Sakura Miko, and The Burnt Peanut. Ooh, this was a good year for The Burnt Peanut, now that I'm thinking about it. The Burnt Peanut got a lot of attention from, I mean, he's here, he was nominated in multiple categories for the Streamer Awards. Casual's doing great. Charlie's doing pretty good too. And of course Kai. I don't watch Kai or Speed. I always watch clips of him, and I'm never like that impressed or interested in what's going on with Kai. It's not. It doesn't do it for me. It's like the Monster Hunter thing. Everyone loves Kai. I think he as a person is epic. I think he's dope. Do I watch his streams? No, it just doesn't do it for me. I watch Speed, and I think Speed is actually wholesome. I watch his streams sometimes, rarely. I watch his clips and stuff more than I watch his streams. For me, it's gotta be Charlie. I like Charlie. Again, like, I like Charlie out of all of these, right? But who do I think had a great year? I think The Burnt Peanut and Casual did pretty great. They had a great year. Damn, this is a hard category. But as a long-time viewer of specifically Charlie, I know he probably is like, you know what, I'm fine with everything that I have. I think he also would like what's going on with Burnt Peanut. I'm just gonna go with Burnt Peanut. Yeah. Esports, for me it's Valorant. Easy. I don't even need to explain why. Mobile Legends Bang Bang. What the Esports athlete. Ooh. Wow. Forsaken? I guess for me it's Forsaken. Yeah. Oh my god. Forsaken takes it for me. I don't know the other ones that well. Best esports team. This has been such a long voting session. Jeez. NRG. Easy. Ooh, this is actually hard. I don't know which one to pick, but I'm gonna go with NRG. I'm a big Valorant fan. Round 1? What? Oh, but yeah, that's my votes. I know it's gonna piss off a lot of people. I don't mind. That's why opinions exist, I guess. If I had to make a note at the end of this, it would be that for my year, 2025, Dispatch is a game that I will not ever forget. Expedition 33 was phenomenal. The Elden Ring, Night Rain game, great, fantastic. Peak is peak. Valorant and League of Legends are games that just stick with me. I love watching people play them. I love playing them. I love everything about it. I love the updates. I love the art. Donkey Kong Bonanza, 10 out of 10 game. Mario Kart, 10 out of 10. Silent Hill, I was expecting to see it a lot more in these awards. I was expecting to see it nominated for a lot more, but I didn't, and it was definitely, like, if I had to pick a game of the year for 2025, it would be Silent Hill. It would actually, my game of the year is Silent Hill F. Again, a reminder, the Game Awards is not the most accurate Game Awards, the most biggest important Game Awards. In terms of marketing and like getting audiences, it gets a bunch of views and all that. The game show is literally 3 hours of trailers, but there are other awards that the games can get, and a lot of the games have gotten. At the end of the day, none of this matters. And that's gonna be all for my Game Awards voting. If you liked the video, drop a like.